Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So I took a break last weekend because it was been an exhausting couple of weeks. Your boy really needed a break so he didn't risk burning himself out again. We're getting back to the content this weekend, at least on a limited basis for this weekend anyway. So I finished recording the Shonen Jump videos that I was behind on. And we're also going to get around to, where was it? Yeah, getting around to the next volume of Battle Angel Alita. Mars Chronicle. I will admit part of the delays I have been trying to get my hands on the rest of these volumes as well. It's just been taking me a little while to collect all of them. But we should have a good little stockpile to keep us going for the next little while, so that should be okay. So that said, just a few channel update things. So we're only going to do one read-through video today just because I don't want to, because I still need to rest and recuperate a little bit and I don't want to risk overstretching myself too much, especially since it was a busy weekend for me. But hopefully by next week I'll be back to regularly scheduled 2 read-throughs a week. Like I mentioned in the channel update video, I am still going to be doing the rotation. So we'll do an Alita video this weekend, and the next weekend it will be another Black Hammer video, along with another one for Bride Story. So look forward to that. Without further ado, let us dive into it with Battle Angel Alita Mars Chronicle Volume 2. Like last time, I'm going to try to go for about 45 minutes or so, depending on how far we get in the book. But I think like last time, because the volume looks to be about the same size it was last time, so we probably will get through it in that time. So if we're getting close to the end, I'll just finish the entire volume in one go. But yeah, let's get back to it, as we have Log 007 at the ruins of Momania. And we have Era Sputnik, year 594, Mars. Former site of Momania Memorial Stone. Oh, we're going back to the present? Oh, shit. Yes, and we have Alita with like a Predator gun on her shoulder with I'm back. Oh, shit. Already in the reunion. And you have the little robot gun going, there's someone behind the monument, Alita. And she's like, I know. He's like, come on out, Erica. And you see a zhish as Erica steps out, like it's all black outfit. It's like 208 years. And we finally meet here again, Yoko. So, you hadn't forgotten about Ninon and the other girls after all. And she's like, Momania's changed since then. It's not on the maps anymore, so it's hard to track down. And it's like, it's been 200 years. Nobody even remembers that there used to be a town here anymore. And you see it's just like a wreckage with like tracks of like vehicles going through it. And Yoko's like, not Yoko, sorry, Erica's like, and now it's just you and me. Nobody else knows there was ever a Ninon here, or a Morla, or a Gemma, or... Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was the one who had this monument built, to ensure that you would find it, Yoko. It's been 3 years since the Zot. Where have you been all this time? Damn, we had a time skip. Oh, shit. It's like I was away on Venus for work. I can't say any more than that. Well, makes sense, you got the gun from somewhere. And you have a little gun snail going, Alita, why does this woman call you Yoko? And she's like, Yoko was my name as a child. He's like, ah, I see. So your full name is Alita Yoko. I feel like that's supposed to be like a riff on Yoko Ono. It's like, not true, but I'm not in the mood to correct you. It's like, I've saved it to memory. And Erica's like, what is that? A new pet? And she's like, this is Danko, a berserker gun. It's basically a mutation of berserker cell. It's basically a mutation of berserker cells. I wound up getting stuck with this thing on Venus. Slug's like, did you just call me a pet? You want to eat bullets, bitch? It's like, I thought Venus had specialized in genetic engineering. But I guess after the dissolution of Ladder, they resumed nanomachine research, huh? And you see, dissolution of Ladder. Ladder's council was eliminated at the conclusion of the Zot. This effectively nullified the Ladder Treaty that was responsible for regulating the actions of the various solar system powers. And Alita's like, and you, Erica, are you between side jobs? It's like, side jobs? It's like the terrorist group, the Neo Third Reich Brigade. It's like, ah, yes, that. And you see Mars Kingdom Parliament's Allied military base, assault landing nursery craft. Oh, gun troll is back. You have SNS gun troll. Jeff, gosh, it's been so long. I'm glad to see you looking well. And you have Captain of the gun troll, Shu Sang. And you have SNS director, Sarula Sangui. My wife is back. Jeff, and the same to you. And you have SNS, a stellar nursery society. And Sarula's like, how are the children? It's like, good. There's nothing quite like taking care of them under a proper sky. I'm currently struggling with the biggest of my kindergartners. He's like, the biggest, you say? The one with Alita? Zex, I believe his name was? It's like, he came to us because he was searching for Alita. Dumb as rocks, but he has a good heart. And Cerula's like, whatever, Highness, are you getting along with the Queen? Is the Queen Lemuria? She never ceases to impress me. She looks quiet and reserved, but the woman knows how to take charge when she needs to. She's won every war against competing powers over the last 3 years. 80% of the Martian canopy is under her control. Sure, we played our part in that, but she's absolutely got what it takes to unite the planet. And Cerula's like, I see. Let's hope that she's up to the task. Look, she's away on official business at the moment. Should be on Ceres now, negotiating a trade agreement with the IACU, if you can believe it. You see, the IACU is Inter-Asteroid Commerce Union, a group of colonies on the 4 largest asteroids, Ceres, Pallas, Vesta, and Hygiea. Jeff, remember that kid Zappa Terracotta? Apparently he's the director running the show at the IACU. Boy, he's really gone far in the world. I don't feel like I remember that character, so I don't know if he's a new one or if he's a returning one. And Saru was like, don't get cocky just because one of your former charges has made it in the world. Have you forgotten what happened 3 years ago? It's like, of course not. But I know he's got his own reasons, and it's all in the past now, so no big deal. This guy happened to be the... This is why I love her. This guy happened to be the type to nurse grudges. It's like, I know there was more behind that incident. And she was like, behind? It's like 3 years ago, we lost our home of Szeged and were blocked from emigrating to Ceres or the other asteroids. We had no other choice but to flee and enter the Zot. It's like, do you think the combination of all those things was coincidental? And she's like, but that was all set up by Embody, right? Have you been digging into that for the past 3 years? And Cerula's like, I've learned a number of odd things. First of all, assume that Embody was unrelated to this. Our collaborators were silenced with money that, after being laundered through several fronts, traced back to one particular name, Dasein. Does that ring a bell to you? And then she's like, sure, but usually in the context of urban legends and conspiracy theories. Supposedly there's some kind of reclusive, ultra-wealthy magnate who secretly controls the world. It's like nearly all the stories about Dasein are idle gossip, but Dasein does exist. It's like, of course, Dasein means sort of Das Ein. Huh. It feels like there should be like a gap between those words, like it should be like Das Ein, but of course Dasein means existence in German, so that would be like saying the existence exists. A bit redundant. Whether Dasein is an individual or a group, and where Dasein might be located are mysteries, but I intend to get to the root of them. I wonder if that's related to Moo from the previous chapter, who was like talking about the canopy and all that stuff. I wonder if she was a part of that group. And Shrilla's like, by the way, do you remember the terrorist group, the Neo Third Reich Brigade? It's like, boy, you're just jumping all over the place. Of course I remember. We took part in the mission to destroy their base 2 years ago. We were nervous. They were rumored to have a deadly Kunstler by the name of Frau X with them. That actually got our big kindergartner... got our big kindergartner even more worked up. But it turned out to be a letdown. All that we faced were crude, weak robot soldiers, and you see Zex in his just like military outfit just scrapping. It's like, I see. It was your good fortune that you didn't run into her. I cannot say anything for certain as the investigation is ongoing, but be careful of the Einherjar. Oh god, it's gonna be zombies introduced into Battle Angel Alita. And so Yoko's like, hold on, Yoko. Why do I keep fucking saying Yoko instead of Erica? Erica's like, so you decoded the message in the Verschlag? You've improved by leaps and bounds, Yoko. And you see as Erica's just kind of swaying, she lurches back. And Alita's like, don't, Erica. And you have a boom. And you have, please let big sister Erica see how much you've grown. And she just like speeds up behind her. And you see them grappling. It's like, she's right on your back, Alita. It's like, it's Staatenfolgen, Shadow Pursuit. It's like, oh? It's like, you don't, oh my god. You see Erica just like cupping her ass. She's like, oh, you don't have a tail. And Alita's like, eek! It's like, why is your little cattail gone? It's like, I was going to spin you around by it. And Alita's like, we're in front of Ninon's grave. Please, let's not fight. And Erica's like, why would that stop me? They're all up there in heaven now. They'll be happy to see how we've grown. Assuming there is a heaven, that is. And you see her just like rushing forward as Alita just fends off a flurry of blows. And you see that Erica just slips behind her again. And she's like, oh, not again. And you see the gunslug just blasting a shot right into her head. And as Erica falls back with a flump, Alita's like, Danko! It's like, you were taking too long to get to the point, so I sped it up. You have a and he's, what the fuck is this? You have a blorp. And you see like one of the buildings or things behind her is like starting to bubble up. And then it kind of like just explodes apart. Or disintegrates apart. It's like a combination of berserker cells and an organic collapser. That would have been instant death. Sehr gut. But a guided projectile like that is going to suffer in terms of velocity. If you want to pump a hole in me, you'll need to prop a proper railgun next time. Nice. And you have, sorry, what the hell is the slug's name? Danko being like, wait, did she deflect my bullet at such close range? How is that even? And Alita's like, there were two nearly simultaneous gunshots. That would be the Mauser School of Panzerkunst's Kugelkeit, a hidden bullet skill. And Erica's like, correct. You've been a good student. She goes up with two and just spits out the other bullet casing. And goes, I suppose you haven't spent the last 3 years goofing off after all. And Danko's like, so she fired a tiny gun. So she fired a tiny gun hidden inside her mouth to strike my bullet and throw it off course? And Erica's like, let's go. Blade, gun, plasma, use whatever you like. I'll be your opponent. It's a classic duel. And Alita's like, we finally meet again, Erica. And you haven't changed a bit. She's like, oh, my dear, sweet Yoko. You haven't forgotten, have you? Remember what you said to me before shipping out to Operation Malwolf 200 years ago? Oh, man, you see like badly bruised Alita. With tears like streaming down her face going, the next time I see you, I will kill you. And she's like, today's the big day. As we get to log 008, Design Undercover. And you see a shift coming in with a boom, and you have a bump, bruck, and a pop and a wait! As you see Alita and Erica just bouncing off it as they're fighting. Oh, I assume that's one of the like the house things out there. It's like, hear me out, Erica. It's like, the time for chatting is over. If you want to talk, you'll have to immobilize me first. And as they're exchanging blows, you see Alita just deflecting one of her fists and grabbing it. And she goes, plasma bite, I've got her left arm. He's like, come now. Seizing the enemy's arm is a fool's game. Didn't you learn that ages ago? And you see Kashunk as he just grabs it down and then starts, oh no. Yeah, so Kashunk as he like grows down like this, then her arm just starts super high speed rotating Erica. And he's like, she undid my plasma bite? It's like, very poor indeed. You see as mid-rotation, Erica's got her foot like cocked behind her, just coming in with a roundhouse kick. And you have, they discovered the body of the leader, Captain Kurwitzer, meaning the Neo Third Reich Brigade is utterly destroyed. What you're holding is the autopsy report made from the Daimos company which recovered the body. It has not been made public. And you see a little alien-looking robot motherfucker. And she was like, what is this? It's like, the man was a necro soldier. It's like, a necro soldier. So he was always just a corpse under someone else's control. I'd heard the stories, but I never thought anyone actually did that stuff. It's like they performed chemical treatment on the brain, using it as a kind of electrical conduit. The deceased personality, memories, and skills are all intact, but they are controlled entirely via remote commands. This kind of technology has been studied since ancient times. Apparently they had nearly perfected it on Mars 200 years ago. Now they're so good at disguising it, not even X-rays can detect Necro Soldier. It's like Deimos did the autopsy, then hushed it up. The sign paid them off. And she's like, the Neo Third Reich Brigade, all an illusion, a fictional terrorist group. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, it's all an illusion, a fictional terrorist group. Most likely it was just a cover story for the Einherjar. It's like, I see. So you suspect that the sign was behind all this? It's like, yes. However, I have no evidence yet. It's like, if that's true, then this is much more than just our problem. The Einherjar had that Panzerkünstler named Frau X. What's her connection to Alita? It's unclear as of yet. Perhaps Alita's appearance is another part of Design's plan. My intuition tells me that Design is somewhere here on Mars. And you see back with the Alita fight, you have my electromagnetically accelerated punch is faster than Erica's spinning kick. And you have a ying and a kasha and a kabam as Alita's just kind of like rocks from a shockwave. Oh, god damn. You see Erica just full tilt, slamming her knee right into the side of Alita's head, knocking her down. Oh, explosive blow just sending her rocketing into one of the pieces of scrap. And as you have Alita just like knocking it off of her, getting back up with the ha. It's like, it's like, that was quite a counter you just took. God, why do I keep forgetting that stupid worm's name? It was what, Donko? Yeah, Donko. Going, that was quite a counter you just took. Thought you were going to get torn to pieces. And she's like, feel free to run off and save your own hide, Donko. It's like, hell no. Even a gun has pride, you know. It's like there was an explosion before the EM uppercut. What was that? And Alita's like, probably Kurz Bombekunst. I bet she equipped herself with some microscopic bombs while we were sparring. It's very hard to block something like that in close combat. And it's like with Tizek, he made a show of the technique by activating it with a snap of his fingers. But Erica detonated them with undetectable ultrasonic waves. There's no way to read the timing or stop it from happening. Erica's like, perhaps I put too much faith in you, Yoko. And you have a blah 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 blah. As Donko just fires off a bunch of shots, all homing in on Erica. God. And she just casually flips mid-air, takes out a bunch of bullets, and just throws it at each of the shots he sent, and just ricochets it off course so it misses her completely. And as she does that, you see Alita just swooping in to try and tackle her, and Erica just kicks her in the face and spins off her. It's like, this is unbelievable. You've always had a tendency to leap before you look, but have you forgotten Panzerkunst too? Or have you battled too many muscle-headed karateka and caught their stupidity? And you see on the next page, she's got Alita pinned down with arm like wrenched behind her, locking her down. She's like, let me go! He's like, Erica, you're so powerful. It's hard to believe you're dead. He's like, huh? What's that supposed to mean? Yoko, if I were serious about this fight, you'd be dead 10 times over. He's like, it's okay now, Erica. Oh, what the fuck, bro? I don't bear a grudge against you anymore. Not since I killed you 200 years ago. Erica's just like, what? And you have a giant boom. As an explosion, you have autonomy. That was your signature move. And you see that Erica's holding on to Alita's arm, which he blew off. He's like, you killed me? That's a joke. It's not a funny one. Then what would that make me? A ghost? So on the way to Mars, I heard a story about the Neo Third Reich Brigade. The Einherjar, Necro Soldiers. Erica, you're a Necro Soldier. So you have log 009, Einherjar. And Erica's like, I'm a Necro Soldier? And you see her face is starting to sweat. She's getting like all worked up. She's like, no, that's not true. That's impossible. It's like, Erica. It's like, yes, I know that Kirowitzer was a puppet, but not me. It's like, someone is pulling the strings using Necro Soldiers to stoke out hatred and pit us against each other. That's our real enemy here. It's like, don't act like you know me. You see, as they're exchanging a flurry of blows, Alita catches her with a kick and knocks her down as she grabs her arm back. And then she reattaches and just like seeing if everything's connected properly. And then she grabs Erica's leg and just almost like slam her down. God, okay. Oh no, so because she used the arm, and the arm was still like the hand was still moving. So she used the arm as like an extension to grab her, to grab onto Erica's leg. So she grabbed her with the arm and just fling her down. And Erica's like, I forgot this about Yoko. And she's doing like the Hulk slam from the Avengers, like slamming her back and forth. It's like she was born a cyborg, so she has no built-in fear or panic about losing her limbs. Not only that, but she has that real ferocity to her, a side you'd never imagine from her usual docile temperament. Her greatest weapon is her natural drive for survival that kicks in when she senses danger. With one last swish as she's like trying to bring her down for another slam, you see that Erica's leg has been cut off. As she flips through the air and comes down to a land, and she goes, "You've really done it now." And Alita's like, "I'd say we're even. It's come done with the classic handicap. It's time to move on to the modern style." Alita's like, "Modern style? It's like you'll die before you even recognize what happened to you. It's like Panzer Zittern." And as she's about to start, I don't know if she's like supposed to be like vibrating, it's like what the effect is going for there. But as she starts up this, you have like a boom, and you hear, "That's enough!" As this like airship comes in close by. And she's like, "You! I knew you were alive! Parabellum! War Professor Bremen! And Meister Karl Quapagelt!" Oh, God. So, this new trio of characters. It's like, "It's been many years, Yoko, my pupil." And it's like, "Captain Gelt, why are you here?" "Yeah, because you won't listen to anyone's orders but his, Erica. Besides, Yoko owes us a bit more work." And it's like, "There's no more time. We're withdrawing, Erica." And with the she just leaps back up into the ship. It's like, "You'll live to see another day, Yoko." He's like, "Wait!" And Gelt is like, "Yoko, you should have been one of us, the Einherjar. You were fated to perish at the hands of Cerula Sangui in the Zot 3 years ago." And she's like, "And then you were planning to rebuild my corpse into a necro soldier?" It's like, "But through whatever whim of fate, Cerula chose not to kill you. Instead, she gave you the Fata Morgana, which eventually led to you becoming the Last Order." Yeah, Fata Morgana is the control key to Earth's quantum supercomputer Malachi, and Last Order is the code name for the agent working for the secret alliance of Malachi and Jupiter's quantum computer Jupiton. It's like, they know all of that? It's like, what are you plotting then? It's like, it seems that we are now mortal enemies. I've prepared a little present just for you. And you see he's got this kid just tied up and like taped up. He's like, a child? It's like, you know that kid? It's like, no. And you see it, and you see it plants a little like dynamite explosive into his collar. He's like, now catch! As he throws the kid in the air. He's like, knowing you, you'll be unable to let the child fall to its death. And as she's leaping towards him, like, "Wahaha, farewell!" And you have unknown craft is entering stealth mode and disengaging. Shall we pursue? It's like, don't bother. Zazi's back. It's like, we're only after Alita. And as Alita grabs the kid, she just grabs the dynamite with her teeth, with a chomp, and a Patu just spits it off to the side. And as she comes skidding to a halt, she's like, you're safe now. It's like, we got more company, Alita. It's a big group. We're already surrounded. And you see a bunch more airships dropping down with soldiers piling out as they have released your hostage. And Danko's like, hostage? Are you kidding me? Alita just saved this kid. And Alita puts the kid down, just nods and tells him to go to the soldier. He's like, good. Now drop your gun and get down on the ground. And Alita's like, wait, I want to speak to your commanding officer. That was supposed to be Zazie, right? It's like, why should we listen to them? Let's blast them all to bits. He's like, stop that, Danko. He's like, I'm gonna follow your commands. It's like, you wuss. It's like, sadly for you, I don't have a safety. You have the gun is leaving Alita's side. Velocity combat team, show me what your training can do. You have roger that, neutralizing target. You see a boom, boom, boom. There's a bunch of shots fired off, just like knocking Alita back and forth. You have Alita! And you have like one of those little cue boxes that Embody used on them surrounding Danko. And yeah, this is very disappointing. Is she really the same person who beat Captain Zazie? And you see what I assume like a Spec Ops unit on Alita? It's like, Zazie? It's like, Alita, you were under... what the fuck is going on, bro? God, this volume is just like, duh, duh, duh. It's like, you are under arrest for the attempted assassination of Queen Lemuria. Alita is just shocked by this. So you have log 010, bomb-proof armored interrogation cell. You have 1 month earlier, Relay Colony Seabold, a waypoint and commerce colony located along the orbital path between Ceres and Mars. It is a member of the IACU. And you have the trade accord with the IACU went well. It would seem this diplomatic tour has been a success. And that's Minister Johan. And Lemuria's like, I can't wait to get back to the fresh air on Mars. And Zazi's like, what? Wait a minute. It's like, what is it, Zazi? It's like, well, they're saying that Alita wants a meeting with Queen Lemuria. And Johan's like, what? Without an appointment? Why, the sheer gall of her. And Lemuria's like, now, she's the hero of the Zot after all. I was worried when she went missing, so I'm happy to hear she's alive and well. Send her through, Zazi. This has to be like your Erica in disguise, right? And you see, as the door opens, you see Alita back in her last order outfit, and she just walks past Zazi, who's like, "Where have you been all this? It's good to see you again, Alita. I've been hoping for the opportunity to properly thank you." Now she reaches an arm forward. Zazi's like, "Hey, wait!" Ooh, and you see her just doing like little plasma claws, and she leaps forward and just starts trying to shred Lemuria and Koenig. Jeff, Queen Lemuria! Oh, did she actually manage to slice her up? Damn, yeah, she might have sliced her up, because then you see that Koenig also got sliced up, and then Alita just leaps out throughout the containing field. He's like, Alita, how could you? And you see like this explosive decompression like this has been blowing out. You have Mars Kingdom Parliament McLaurin Base. You have well done on your mission, Yoko. I've sent the funds to the usual account. Remain on standby for further orders. And Alita just starts laughing. She's like, this is ridiculous. I have no idea what any of this is about. And Zazi goes, and yet you met with the Einherjar, Frau X's group, and took this communications probe from them. We received the bank records involved, and it's enough money to hire our own platoon. And Alita's like, yes, Erica was my childhood friend, and Gelt was one of my instructors ages ago. But I have nothing to do with the Einherjar. In fact, they told me you are our enemy. And the other Kurd soldier from Zazi's unit, who cannot remember the name of, I'm just going to call him Baldy for now, goes, we could pry open your head and extract the memories that will prove your statement's true. It's like, I refuse. It's like, okay then, let's go over the details. You claim at the time of the attack you were on board a travel ship. But Crumman cracked the ship's passenger register and now the data is inaccessible. Before that, you claim you were on Venus, yet we refuse to say who you met or what you were doing. We cannot independently confirm your story. He's like, look at this objectively, Alita. There are too many red flags in your behavior. It's like, just in case we even investigated potential actions of anyone resembling your appearance. Alf and Zwolf haven't left Zalem in 3 years. Of course, appearances can be altered. And you're, it's like, it's me. What? From the MBV? And she's already here? Alita's like, the managers of the canopy? And you have, I request the release of Alita Yoko effective immediately. I am Priestrin Mu of the Mars Balichin Viren, and I shall take custody of her. It's like, do you remember me, Alita Yoko? It's like, you mean the monster who wanted to turn children into pillars? You don't seem to have aged a day. It's like, for good reason. This body is a ceremonial avatar. My actual body is a part of the Saula network now. I have had you two on my mind for all this time. As my predecessor Nafe's Oracle prophesied, you have grown into quite the figure. It's a shame that Erica's path went where it did. And the soldier's like, I'm afraid we can't oblige you, Priestern. What happened to the MBV's policy of non-interference? She just whips out a little fan. She's like, in this one case, I'm prepared to overstep my ordinary bounds. The Saula network records everything that happens beneath the canopy of Mars. If I provide you with the log, perhaps you'll find that the charges against her will be proven wrong. And you have a pardon me for Nice. You have a pardon me for interrupting. And you have SNS Director Cerula Sengui. I've come to state my opinion on the matter. The soldier's starting to just sweat bullets. He's like, Miss Cerula, to what do I owe the pleasure? He's like, where the hell is our security? And Moo's like, my, what an honor. And Zazi's like, what's wrong? As Alita's just like looking away, he's like, I don't like her. And Zazi's like, that's good to know. She's like trying to force Alita's face to look at her. He's like, hey, Cerula, we met on that passenger ship, remember? You can vouch for me. And Cerula just looks away like, we did? Like, I don't remember that. It's like, I did not come here to clear your charges against this little pipsqueak. I'm delivering a warning about a plot concocted by your enemy. He's like, our enemy, the Einherjar, and their mastermind, Dasein. They're incredibly thorough and cautious, and their plot runs deep. I shall begin with the hijacking of Olympus Spaceport 3 years ago. During Operation Hagel, the mission to recover the port Zebra team encountered Frau X. During this encounter, one team member began acting abnormally, interfering with our attack, and then perished. It's like, records of the operation are a military secret! Excuse me. And Cerula's like, keep your red tape where it belongs. Those abnormal actions are not the effect of some secret Panzerkunst art. In fact, the answer itself is quite simple. That team member was a necro soldier. He had likely been hacked during a pre-mission skull maintenance session. Jeff, what? It's like, so you think there were enemy spies among the maintenance doctors and engineers? It's quite possible that the doctor was also a necro soldier. I urge you to conduct a thorough review of all medical professionals on staff and the seizure of anyone who has undergone craniotomy procedures in the past 5 years. We'll also need double or triple security measures to prevent the presumption or the resumption of necro soldier production. He's like, what a horrifying thought. He's like, I heard that Queen Lemuria was seriously wounded. How was she treated? Jeff, did I just hear my name? Gosh, I just need a drink of water as we get into this. And Lemuria's like, are you suspecting me of being turned into a necro whatever? It's like, Your Majesty! And Zaz's like, you mustn't be here right now! Alita's like, Lemuria's like, she looks fine! It's like, please forgive me. It's like, it's no matter. If we'd had word that 2 exalted guests were coming, I could have arranged for a proper welcome. And the priest turns like, it's not necessary. It's like, medical technology is amazing these days, isn't it? Look, there isn't even a mark left behind. And Cerula's just side-eyeing her and goes, even with my eyes, I cannot determine if she's a necro soldier or not. And you see, my eyes, as Cerula has vampire eyes, allow her to view nerve pulses and blood flow beneath the skin. It's like, if I puncture her points and view her pulse flow, I might learn something. But I can't treat a queen that way. And Lemuria's like, I suppose I've totally broken up the conversation. Please do continue. It's like, I appreciate it. It's like, I have just one last thing to say. Why would our enemy create a fictional terrorist group, the Neo Third Reich Brigade, to attempt to take over of Olympus Spaceport? I suspect this was a test case to determine the military strength needed to rule Mars in the future. Excuse me. The Mars Kingdom Parliament made its name in Operation Hagel and has been ascendant since then. I believe this is why they singled out Queen Lemuria for that assassination attempt. The only person the enemy was wary of was Trinidad, Aga Mbadi. Only he is capable of detecting necro soldiers, making him an obstacle to the enemy's plot. After his downfall at the Zot, the enemy dropped his disguise. The Einherjar find it easier to act now, I'm sure. And Moo's like, how incredibly perceptive of you. I'm very impressed. I'm not special. The enemy is far ahead of us in the game. They even used me as a pawn without me noticing. I cannot be at ease until that debt is settled. It's like, you may not be one of them, Alita, but it is quite possible that you're a part of their plan. And Alita's like, I cannot believe that your appearance here and the Einherjar's activities are unrelated. And Alita's like, what? It's like, how is that even possible? It's like, we must act with great caution and forethought. There is not a foe who can be topped with military might alone. And it's like, and now I will take my leave. And Lemuria's like, so soon? That's a shame. We'll send you off in one of our falter crafts. It's like, I would appreciate it. And the priest turns like, Your Majesty, please release Alita Yoko. It's like, well, there is no one on Mars who could possibly refuse the direct request of a priesterin. And Zazi's like, you are being released on Queen Lemuria's orders, Alita. But this does not mean the suspicions surrounding you are lifted. You must wear this choker. It contains both an MPS and an EPR beacon that will keep tabs on your location. You have MPS's Mars Positioning System, a device that determines location based on satellite signals, a Martian GPS, An EPR beacon is a beacon super speed communication method using quantum entanglement. So if you try to remove it or if the beacon stops transmitting, we will instantly declare you a hostile. I suggest you tread lightly. On a personal note, I must ask, was the fact that I met two Künstlers, you and Frau X, in such short order by someone's design? And Alita's like, I swear to you, it is a coincidence. It's like, you swear? With no master, no parents or country, no religion and open hostility towards your teacher? What in the world can you swear upon? And she's like, upon my pride as a warrior. Oh, God. And you see as the Mars craft is taking off, Strelow's like, So your bearing is incorrect, pilot. And she sees that there's no one in the pilot's seat. He's like, shit, it's a setup! As the plane explodes. And you have... God. Log 011, aliens on Mars. And you see on the pre-stern ship, Alita's like, this ship sure is packed with some fancy tech. It's hard to imagine that all this stuff existed 2 centuries ago. And she's like, it should not be surprising. The MVV has always maintained scientific tools a century in advance of anyone else's. It's like, huh? What is that silly expression for as Moo's just like fresh out of the shower? It's like, oh, that ritual garment is so uncomfortable. After I cleansed my body, I prefer to enjoy the... And Alita's like, would you just put some clothes on? Like, so, what are you going to do with me? It's like, please, you make it sound like I'm some kind of kidnapper. It's like, you aren't? It's like, do you hate me? It's like, you finally figured that out? It's like, I'm stunned. I bent our rules to rescue you, and this is my repayment? And Alita's like, okay, maybe that was a bit much. It's like, alright, hate is a strong word. I was just a bit alarmed, frightened, after what happened when I was just a child. It's like, so you don't hate me? It's like, does that mean you love me? And she starts like blushing. It's like, why are those the only 2 options? And you have, I apologize for acting strangely. My comrades often say that I seem out of step too. And Alita's like, I'm a bit worried about the MBV. It's like, what will you do now, Alita Yoko? And she's like, I'm going to take Erica back from them. And to do that, I need to cure the necrosoldierism. Is there any way you can do that with your high technology? It's like, sadly, I do not think so. When our gardeners are sick or injured, we immediately turn them into Sauron. Therefore, the MBV's medical knowledge is not of the same quality as that of its other fields. It's like, I see. But perhaps I know who can. There's a very talented doctor, not in the MVB, but among the people I know. We ought to seek his help. And as you pack on this ship with a new leg, Yoko barges into a room and goes, what does this mean, Gelt? Explain yourself. It's like, you're shouting, Erica. What if someone overhears you? She's like, my voice is scrambled. There's no fear of that happening. It's again, what do you want me to explain? And you see he's in the front of a little ant farm, and he's just feeding a worm into them. It's like, don't play coy. Is it true that I'm a necro soldier? It's like, did Yoko tell you that? It's like, she would have heard it from Sangui, and she's been endlessly prying into our business lately, the old hag. I've taken steps to deal with her, but I'm certain that she's made a sterner stuff than my little arrangement can handle. It's like, don't change the subject. It's like, I had no choice. There was no other option when it happened. It's like, you admit it? So it's true? It's like, of course. You and I are the same. We are necro soldiers. And what is your point? Has it changed your life's dream? Has it stemmed the flow of blood from the wound upon your heart? No, nothing has changed, and that is your answer. And you see as the MVB ship's kind of coming through like the Mars protection canopy, Alita's like, oh no, sorry, that's Moo going, only the bind is capable of passing through the canopy without rupturing it. It involves a manipulation of the micro machines that compose the canopy, such that they move to allow the ship passage while holding their seal tight. So when will your arm grow back, by the way? Alita's like, my regenerative ability is weak at the moment. It might take a week or so, I think. It's like, I forgot to ask. Can you unfreeze the gun for me? It's like, it won't go out of control, will it? Oh, fucking Christ. Of course this motherfucker's the one that they're gonna have to go to for help. Oh, Christ. Of fucking course. I don't know why this was the one thing, like, I should have realized, like, instantly who it was gonna be. Yeah, but what do you want? It's like, you have a visitor, Master. Priest Mu of the Mars Baldachin Variant asked for your assistance. You have aha! Now that is a rather interesting request. Send her through. And you have Afro Nova, who was like hacking up a corpse on a little experimental table. God, he's made Tizik his like little butler slave. You have Priest Mu. Thank you for making the very long trip to... He's like, wait, not you! And Alita's like, not you! It's like, you two know each other? It's like, you do not seem to be on good terms to me. It's like, I must ask that you remain calm. And you see them both like leaping at each other and exchanging blows. She's like, and for my sake, please stifle your hostilities. And Alita just slams him into the ground. And you have a whoosh and a cough and a Geld was alive. And he's like, what? Well, he's like, that reaction was real. He doesn't know anything about this. It's like, Erica and I returned to the group under Captain Geld's command. And Danko's like, Alita, I thought... It's like, let me tell you, the captain was furious that you had sunk to being Embodied's lapdog. He's like, eep! It's like, does he know about how I made off with the money at the end of the war? Well, he's like, did you really sink that low? It's like, of course he knows. And he's looking forward to getting 200 years worth of interest on that money. He's like, I can't possibly afford that. And you see, God. The next page you see that as the dust clears and moves looking at them just shaking hands. It's a cough. It's like, I do not like these dust clouds. It's like, you've already made up? You've made up already? I'm glad. It's like, oh yes, as you can see, we're the best of friends. It's like, you better patch things up between him and me. And Alita's like, I might consider putting in a good word if you can help out with my mission. She's like, well, if it isn't Alita, where has the time gone? Oh, that's fucking Supernova. And she's like, so you're the very talented Dr. Supernova. It's like, what a surprise. You're acquainted already as well? It's a small solar system indeed. Were my efforts unnecessary then? And Supernova's like, we share a long and sordid past. Since you haven't leapt onto me with fist raised, might I assume that you have grown a bit as a person? And Tizik's like, Master, she's not the stray alley cat we once knew. Please, I beg of you, do not open hostilities with her. He's like, come in and we shall talk. He's like, a method to cure necro soldiers? Well, I wouldn't be able to say without taking a look for myself. But it sounds to me like you simply want to remove the control mechanism from the brain so that you can return it to being a corpse. It's like, no, return it to being a living human being again. You can recreate a brain that's been blasted into scraps. You can't tell me this is beyond your abilities. Then Supernova's like, indeed, theoretically it is possible. It's like, might I add my name to this request as well? It's like, I hope that you can find your way to helping Alita Yoko with this. It's like, Master, please, if you don't help, I'm a dead man. He's like, good grief. You've learned to drive a hard bargain over the years, Alita. Doesn't seem that I can refuse your plea. It's like, so I can count on your help then? He does the stupidest fucking face ever. As we have Volume 2 end. We got some kind of sci-fi short story. I'll take a look at that later. There's just translation note stuff. I can take a look at that later. Alright. I guess quick thoughts on Volume 2. There was, again, just like a lot of information, like plot points just being thrown at us with the Einherjar, with the Necro Soldier, with like all the characters from Last Order showing up again, the assassination plot. So just kind of like, overload of like all this stuff being thrown at you. But it is all very interesting storyline stuff. Like, I'm curious and interested in seeing like where all of this stuff is going to go. So in that regard, it's very, very successful. I'm very, very curious to see where the story is heading from here. I will say I think it tipped its hand a little bit too much with like the Necro Soldier, Einherjar things, where the whole like, Alita's like, Alita's like, oh, Erica, you've been I don't know why I keep messing up their names together, but it's like, Erica, you've been a Necro Soldier this whole time. That reveal didn't land as... That twist I feel like was a bit too spelt out, but like Alita being like, oh, I did kill you 200 years ago, that one genuinely got me, and I'm curious as to what the hell exactly happened. So I'm really looking forward to diving more into the backstory with Alita and everything else that's going on with that. Apart from that, I did like seeing all the favorite characters from Last Order returning again. So I did really love seeing My wife Cerula back in play again. We know that the ship blowing up would not have affected her, so I'm looking forward to seeing her back in action sometime in the next couple of volumes. The only tiny nitpick I would have is I feel like Zazie was a little bit too hard on like Alita. Was like too readily believing that Alita had betrayed her, did actually try to assassinate Lemuria. I feel like after everything they went through in Last Order, after Alita like saved her and everything, I feel like Zazie should have given her a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, being like, I trust that you weren't the one that did it. So I think that's the only thing that felt weirdly out of place, was like how vehemently she was insisting that, like, you must have been the assassination, like, don't try anything, you bitch, I've got my eye on you thing. But yeah, apart from that, really solid volume. Looking forward to the next one, where the story's going from here. So like I mentioned in the beginning, if you like this content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shonen Jump stuff and Battle Angel Alita will be out today. Like I mentioned, hopefully we'll be back to the regularly scheduled stuff next week, with 3 read-throughs per week. I'll probably try to do a proper channel announcement with that. With that all said, until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.